Welcome to Breaking Par with Bernard Sheridan, the golf instruction podcast that helps you take control of your game. Now, here's your host, the founder of Par Breakers Golf Academy and certified Golf Channel Swing Fix instructor, Bernard Sheridan.
So, James Hong, welcome to Breaking Par. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
So, James, my knowledge of you is basically through social media is how I first learned about you in some of the circles that we run in on social media, the both of us. And I've always respected your insight. That's a big reason why I'm having you on the show. And you were gracious enough to, when I put a thing out there on social media asking a lot of the guys if they would be interested, you were one of the first ones to reply, and I very much so appreciate that. So really what we're going to do today is kind of pick your brain and some of the insight that you have into the game. But first what I want to do is have you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and also some of the bulk of the students that you are working with.
Well, the last 10 years, I just finished my 10th season over at Harbor Links Golf Course, which is in Port Washington, New York. And over the course of the last 10 years, really my focus has been on developing their junior programs, growing it each year, and creating something that's more unique, a little bit different from a lot of the programs that you see in probably your local clubs or your local driving ranges. And so, as I said, it's just been something that I've been developing over 10 years, each year making things a little bit different, keeping the things that we seem to be very good at, never settling for success, so to speak. So that's what I've been doing. A lot of the students that I teach are anywhere from beginners as young as 4 years old. I've actually even had a couple of 3-year-olds. But we have programs, group programs specifically for age groups. We have a program for 4 to 6-year-olds, for instance. It's called the Futures Club. And basically we do a lot of things like developing balance, giving them, what TPI likes to call long-term athletic development programs. And so we do that. And what we've done is created programs that seem to staircase up into the next program. Very much like, I guess you could say, a martial arts program where you would get one belt and then develop and get the next belt, etc. So we would do different levels of programs. So that that's something that we've been promoting, we've been creating over the past decade, so to speak. So, like I said, I'm teaching mainly juniors, but I do teach a lot of adults as well.
Now, in the junior programs that you're doing, are a lot of those programs individual lessons, or are they group sessions, or is there a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. And what we've done over the course of especially the last couple of years is, like a lot of places, we get the parents that come in and they want to see if their child likes the game. But sometimes it can get a little expensive. And so what we do is provide classes and programs, small groups. Some of the classes are 3 to 5 students per instructor. Others are 7, but it's not extravagant. And so each child gets a little bit of individual attention. And as they progress and they start to say, hey, Mom, Dad, I kind of like this, that's when we say, well, once in a while, let's start to graduate them into private lessons. And it goes on from there. So when we have our elite program or advanced juniors, for instance, that's a combination of both group programs where they practice with each other. That also includes fitness programs, and they go out and they play together. And that also entails the private lessons for each one of them. So yeah, it is a mix of both.
Okay. So, and I know that you're certified as a TPI?
Yes, I'm a TPI level 2 performance coach and level 2 junior coach.
Okay. And then you're also Lynn Blake certified or Golfing Machine certified?
It's Lynn Blake certified, yes.
Yes.
And also Stack and Tilt network instructor. Is it network or, Stack and Tilt. And also What else do I have? I can't remember. It's like an alphabet city now.
Sure. So do you use a lot of these different methods with your juniors, or um, do you tailor the type of instruction that you're using for certain kids as opposed to other kids? So I know that like there might be kids who fit in the stack and tilt mold. And then there might be kids who are more fitting into the golf machine mode, but really aren't as much stack and tilt. Is there specific things that you use, or do you kind of just run a gamut across the board?
Basically, what I try to do is see where they seem to gravitate towards, and what seems to work best for each junior. And it's the same for adults as well. You may notice tendencies of the person. Hey, they seem to hit the ball better, or they seem to be more comfortable with going along this route than that route. Uh, Specifically for adults, the seminar that we attended, the Mike Adams seminar, where he was talking about teaching people based on the biomechanics, the way they move, putting them through a couple of tests, assessments. So I strongly believe in that. So yeah, so what I'll do is pick and choose, so to speak, what I feel is the right way that this person will progress.
Sure. So when you're doing junior programs, is there a specific thing that you do that you have, in other words, um, for 20 minutes they might be working on certain drills, or they might be doing a fitness thing, or they might be, and when you are doing those group sessions, how long are those group sessions? Because I know a lot of parents, when they want to bring their kids, some of them, the kids are only there for a half hour. Like if it's a private thing, they're only there for a half hour. But if it's a group thing, they might be there longer. An after school program, things like that. What's the normal amount of time that you have group sessions?
Well, the group sessions during the spring and the fall, and even in the winter, can be anywhere from an hour and 15 minutes to 2 hours long. And within those programs, I'll use the hour and 15 minutes as an example. We would probably be focusing on fitness for a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes within that time span. And that leaves an additional 45, 50 minutes in the program. And so what we'll do within that time frame is focus on one or two things. So it might be, today we're going to be working on pitch shots from 30 yards in and showing them scoring, for instance, pitching onto the green, and how many times can you get the ball into the hole? Is it one pitch onto the green and two putts, three putts, one putt, and showing them that way. So like I said, it would be one specific topic or two topics at most. We don't want to overburden the kids.
Absolutely. So I know that with a lot of the junior things that I do, when it comes to the smaller ones, 5, 6 year olds, I'll break it into like little segments to keep them interested. I'll do like 10 minutes chipping, and then might work another 10 minutes putting, and then a 10-minute full swing if they're doing a private lesson. If they're in a group, I might break that into 20-minute segments, where 20 minutes they might be doing exercises, another 20 minutes they're maybe doing a little competition type thing, and then another 20 minutes they're working on different parts of the game, specific part like you were saying, like maybe a 30-yard pitch up and down, those type of things. Do you feel that that keeps them interested better to break it up in segments like that?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're basically doing the same thing. 20 again, the hour classes for the 4 to 6 year olds. Since you're bringing that up, same thing. 20 minutes, about 20 minutes of exercises, 20 minutes on one topic and a game. And in fact, even within that 20 minutes, what I brought up, the 30-yard pitch shot, is within that 20 minutes, probably 10 minutes of instruction. Again, we know that the attention span is rather short for children. Is maybe 10 minutes of instruction and then 10 minutes on a game. So there's a skills competition. They see that it's fun. Because a lot of times these kids, we don't give them enough credit for being smart. We just think that they're little children, but they think right away, why are we doing this? What's the point of this? Tell me why we're doing this, and that way I'll accept it more. So We give them the instruction and then have them play a game, and you can see it on their faces, even 4-year-olds. It's like, oh, now I know why we're doing this.
Right.
And that grabs their attention. And what happens is when they come back for the next class, that's always one of the first things we hear from them is, hey, are we going to do that thing we did last week? And sometimes we will. If they really liked it, there's no reason to cut them off from that enjoyment level. Say, sure, you want to play that game again? We'll play it again. Or we might say, well, this week we're going to add this to that what we did last week and kind of build on it like Legos.
Sure. So there's a lot of parents that are going to be listening to this because you're definitely a leader in junior instruction, especially now that, and it's been proven that you're a leader because you've received recently the award from Golf Range Magazine on being a top 50 in the growth of the game and congratulations on that. So in that leader position, a question that I like to ask, especially with juniors, because there's a lot of parents who want to know about this. When you're doing these group programs, how many kids do you max out at when it's just you? In other words, you're the only instructor. And if you do have more than that, do you add another instructor so that the ratio of instructors to kids is in a amount that they can control, that you can be in control, and that the kids are getting the most benefit from it?
Yes, definitely. We keep the group small, and so for each of our programs, it depends. Like for instance, we have a fall program and a spring program. It's a 5-week program that is specifically for kids that are just starting out, or maybe they've been trying it for about a year, but are still kind of in that beginner intermediate level. And those programs are limited to 5 kids per instructor. And if we get a 6th child, what'll happen is I'll bring another instructor in. So if it's 6 children, it'll be 3 and 3. So that's key, is that number one, that the kids see that there are other kids doing it, because it's such an individual game. And sometimes what drives children away is they think they're the only one. Oh, gee, this is boring. So when they see other kids, they oh, okay, yeah, everybody's having fun. And they sometimes they bring their friends along the next week. So, but we keep the group small, and we want to make sure the kids get attention. In some of our older kids groups, like our summer programs, it's limited to 7 kids per instructor. And that's a whole week program. It extends the whole week, and it's 4 hours a day. So the kids, again, even though the groups are a little bit larger, they do get a lot of individual attention. And we'll pair them up. So within the group of 6, 7 kids, we'll have groups of 2, and they'll play teams and really kind of mentoring each other, so to speak, and feeding off of each other. But the instructors are always with the groups. It's never like, okay, you 5 go over there and do this for an hour, and then I'll see you later. There's always supervision and instruction going on. And that's really important. I think that's one of the reasons why our programs are so successful. With our elite programs, because they do have a better sense of how to handle themselves, what I've done with them is have the older kids become sort of mentors for the younger ones or the newer ones into the program. And so what'll happen is they'll kind of be my unofficial assistants, where they might set up the range area. They will put out the training aids because they know what to do, and they know what their responsibilities are. So it's also good for them because you could see the personal pride that's developing in them, the self-confidence. Hey, James is really relying on me to be a good example to the others, so I better not let him down. And that's where a lot of the parents have said, wow, that's really helped his self-esteem or her self-esteem. So yeah, they'll take care of 3 or 4 kids in their own right.
Yeah, well, that's great too, because what that also does is, as opposed to just boosting their self-esteem, what it does is it makes them feel like they're really helping out, and they're doing they're doing things, and it makes them want to be there more. So exactly. I find that with my older kids too. They like to do that. They enjoy doing it, and they're actually kind of honored that they were chosen to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
That's it.
that's nice. So you mentioned training aids. So let's dive into that a little bit. Are there specific training aids that you gravitate towards for your students?